Hey, so guys, you might think that Donald Trump is up here, right, on the political compass. So you might think he's over there, far to the right, super authoritarian. I'm going to make the argument, I think he's more like right here. All right, and he hasn't always been there. I think he was down here, all right, when he was just businessman. He was very sympathetic to a lot of causes having to do with oppression. For instance, he advocated certain things for nonviolence, stuff like that. Now, how did he get over here, right? Now, the thing you got to understand is that a lot of our politicians, they're all like within this area right here, all right? They're not down here. They're not over here. Well, a couple of them are, like Rand Paul, right? But again, this is the point that I'm trying to make, and I'm going to back myself up, all right? So, again, back 2002, 2003 or whatever, I think Donald Trump was further down here, like around this area, all right? And then again, remember, a lot of people thinking he's up there. MAGA people say, oh no, he's down here, right? Or some of them are just kind of happy that he's right there, a little bit more authoritarian. But the reason why all of our politicians are in this little circle is because of our system, the Constitution. So even if somebody is in power and they want to do things like this, or they want to do things like this, it really keeps us within this, it keeps us further down, all right? We've got leftist politicians who would love to, spread the wealth around, so to speak. And a lot of people might be like, oh no, Bernie Sanders is down here or whatever. I get it, right? But they're all up there. They have to be. They take money from people. Like if you heard RFK talk about how Bernie Sanders took money, remember that big argument? And Bernie's like, no, I've never done that. Again, I get it. But I'm trying to tell you the facts that I think a lot of people would agree with this, because the Constitution keeps people within here. Even if they have a moment, right, where they're like, no, I really think we should do something like this, or we should do something like that, all right? Again, I don't want to repeat myself too much. The last thing I just want to mention is that you get a scorecard as somebody in power, our elected leaders, there's a scorecard. So for instance, if you pardon people, all right, that's really like a libertarian action, all right? I'm going to argue that. If you want to jail people, it's an authoritarian action, right? And so there's also other things like with gun control, for instance. Why is it that even down here, when it comes to the state, are you pro-state or are you not down there? Why do people over here, they don't seem to like guns? Over here, even though it's libertarian, they love guns over there, right? So what is that about? I believe that it has to do with right wing is a belief of hierarchy, where it's like, hey, if you work hard, you get to come to this next level. And so people up here are like, no, you earned that, right? And over here, it'd be like, no, that's a bunch of BS. These people got lucky, or, these people got lucky, right? And so everybody should be like this. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the economics of it, right and left. So those are the only differences. Keep that in mind. It could help you with your family dinners when you're not getting along with your brother-in-law and you're debating politics. Just remember that. There's the kryptonite of either side is always bringing up the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. That's the kryptonite, because everyone, no matter if it's life experience, age, or the media, everyone's kind of being trained to go further up here and take defense, their favorite, you're a stan, right? You're a fan of your leader, and therefore you're going to defend your leader. And when you defend your leader, you're probably, because of our climate, going to end up further up there. And so you're fucking up. You're fucking up when you're going up there, because it's usually going to be against our Constitution. Our Constitution was written by guys who were there, and like Hamilton, Jefferson, and they had disagreements. They had disagreements like Jefferson was like, no, I'm not into the idea of a stock market or banks or anything like that. Hamilton was like, no, it's the only way to go, you know. So they had those types of arguments. So keep that in mind. When you're at a dinner table and you're getting into a debate with someone, a lot of the time you're getting into a debate with them because, you know, again, our Constitution is really down here. Why are they all up there? Well, our system where they're getting put on, it would only be possible if it weren't for the corporations over here. And so therefore, they're basically their bosses. But, you know, and to get their way, it's like football. That's a touchdown up there. So keep that in mind. If someone's arguing with you on either side, whether they're on offense or defense, all right? Right now, the Republicans are on offense, and whenever you see anyone defend what they're doing right now, it's like, you know, a fighter jet when they put out flares in the back to blow up the missiles, right? So don't worry, in 2028, if the Democrats get in, you know, that's for the liberals out there, have no fear, but things are going to change, and it's going to be the opposite, where, you know, they're going to be on offense, and again, they're going to put out flares whenever the MAGA cats are like, you know, hey, we got a constitution, that's tyranny, and that they'll be saying that then. All right? Everyone gets their time. Everyone gets their chance. All right, thank you. All right, I'll see you later. I just wanted to get those thoughts up.